Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
What am I drink? What am I think? You're listening to Popeye News Links. This is the Admiral Tibet who I represent, and remember, the time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. This is Popeye News Links.
Greetings viewers and subscribers. Residents of Lethe and surrounding areas. The Rambler Police, they'll be presenting a widely publicized meeting tomorrow afternoon, Sunday, November 26, starting at 5 o'clock at the Lethe Square. The Rambler Police, they are saying that at the meeting, you will have the opportunity to discuss issues that affects you. They will also be discussing crime preventative measures, domestic violence, and police and citizens partnership. This is your chance to assist with making a difference in your community and help in shaping its future. That's tomorrow afternoon, Sunday, November 26, starting at 5 o'clock at the Lethe Square. Don't miss it. In today's journey, we have left Hope Bay and we are heading towards Ocherayas. Continue to sit back, continue to relax, and continue to enjoy this journey with me. In this first story, that female on your screen, her name is Jamila Thomas. She is 24 years old and she is employed as a customer service agent at Island Grill on King Street in Kingston. She is living at Chestnut Lane in the Denhamtown area of West Kingston. She has been arrested and charged for simple larceny and unauthorized use of data. The allegations are that on Thursday, November 23, one of Jamila's co-worker, she left her handbag with her debit card in a locker at her workplace. It is further alleged that Jamila, she went into her co-worker's locker and stole her debit card from her handbag. She went to an ATM in Halfway Tree where she withdrew $15,000 off the card. And please, nobody ask me how she knew the PIN. I am sure that will be explained in court. It is further alleged that Jamila, she used her co-worker's debit card to make purchases online totaling over 24,000 Jamaican dollars. When Jamila was done, it is alleged that she dashed away the card. The co-worker, she received email notifications of the transactions and a report was made to her bank and the police. The police officers, they commenced investigations and Jamila, she was taken into police custody. When she was questioned by the police, she confessed and she carried the police and showed them where she dashed away the card. The card was retrieved. Jamila, she was subsequently charged by the police and she'll be going to the courts shortly. This next incident, it took place yesterday morning, Friday, November 24, about 12 midday. It took place at Silver Spring in the Little London Police area in the parish of Westmoreland. We are learning that a man, he's a truck driver and he's employed to D&G. This man, he was out driving a D&G truck and delivering drinks to shops in the area. We are told that he stopped at a shop in the Silver Spring area. He was accompanied by a worker. While they were there at the shop delivering drinks, a white Toyota Fielder motor car drove up and stopped. A total of 7 hoodlums, armed with rifles and handguns, they came out of the car. They proceeded to rob the truck driver of his 2 Samsung cellular phones and a bag containing almost 1 million Jamaican dollars in cash and a quantity of liquor off the truck. They then robbed the worker of a Samsung Note. They also robbed a quantity of drinks from the shop owner. The hoodlums, they then made good their escape in the said white Toyota Fielder motor car. These gangs, they are getting bigger and bigger and they're acquiring more firepower by the day. Boy, may I tell you. Now, in this next story, from the other day, I've been telling you about hoodlums who are stealing motor vehicles. Wednesday night, November 22, a police officer living in the 7 West area of Greater Portmore, he parked and securely locked up his grey 2016 Subaru G4 motor car and went to bed. About 3 o'clock Thursday morning, the police officer, he was awoken by strange sounds coming from outside his house. When he made checks, he saw 2 hoodlums breaking into his motor car. The policeman, he called out to them, and it is said that one of the hoodlums, he pointed an object at the cop. The policeman, he opened gunfire at them, but the hoodlums, they managed to jump into a waiting motor car, making good their escape. Checks were made, and we are told that the hoodlums, them almost thieved the car. The right driver door of the car was pried open, and the ignition was damaged. It's just a pity. Remember me tell you. Now, in this next story, we are learning that yesterday afternoon, a group of hoodlum students, they attacked another student at River Bay Road in Montego Bay in the parish of St. James. We are told that the young hoodlums, they rained some serious blows on the male student. He was also stabbed in his back. He was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was admitted in a serious condition. I'm doing some digging on this story and I'll be updating it in a subsequent video. Stand by for that. In this next incident, this one took place last night, Friday, November 24, about 7:15. It took place at Station Road in the Little London area of Westmoreland. We are learning that a man, he's in his late 50s and he's a cattle farmer. This man, he was in his house when he went to the back of his yard to check on his cattle. Gunshots were heard. The farmer, he then realized that he was shot to his left leg and he was bleeding profusely. The police, they were called, and when the police arrived on the scene, the farmer, he was seen lying on the ground and bleeding like crazy. The police, they rushed with the farmer to a nearby hospital where he was treated and admitted. The mayhem. In this next incident, I carried a story on Monday, November 13. I'm going to replay the story that I carried and then I'm going to be updating the story. Listen to this. In this next story, this one, it look a way to say the least. And I am sure that the police, they are digging deep into this one. Listen me now. A guy, he's known as Expert. Expert, he is or was living in Toronto, Canada. It is said that on Friday, November 10, one of Expert's friends, a guy who so far we are told that is known as Anthony, he was living in Toronto, Canada also. We are told that Anthony, he went to visit his friend Expert. Listen me carefully now. Listen to me carefully. It is said that Expert, he took his friend Anthony to a house in the Marleygate area of Old Harbour in St. Catherine. About 8:30 Friday night, Expert and his friend Anthony, they were sitting on the outside at the back of the house having a chat when it is alleged that they were pounced on by 3 hoodlums who were armed with guns. It is said that the hoodlums, them never trouble Expert, but they took Anthony into bushes where they executed him. You heard that? The hoodlums, they did not trouble Expert, but them take up Anthony, carry Anthony into the bushes and executed him. It is said that the killers, they then made good their escape. The police, they were called, and when they arrived on the scene, Anthony, he was found lying down in bushes with gunshot wounds to his head and his upper body. He died on the spot. The police, they are investigating, but officers, me not have to tell you no. This one here no pass the smell test at all. This one here smell really fishy. So that is the story that we carried on Monday, November 13. Now, what we are learning is that it was experts who told the police that the man's name is Anthony. There is the gentleman that was killed on your screen. His name is Davion Wilson. Davion is a Kingston College old boy and he was a highly qualified professional. Davion is a graduate of the University of the West Indies and he possessed a master's degree in business and management. We are told that Davion, he frequently traveled between Jamaica and Canada where he's a permanent resident. Whilst Davion was living in Jamaica back then, he worked as a consultant with Scotiabank on its external credit card and marketing portfolio. Davion, he also worked as a supervisor at the planning office at the University of the West Indies and he was also a senior credit analyst at the Grace Kennedy Cooperative Credit Union. So Davion, like some people would say, Davion and no little pian. So the questions that a lot of persons are asking is who did Davion went to meet up with and why? Now, so let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button as also. Hit on the notification bell. Then click all so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be one of the first to be notified. In the final story for today, that man on your screen. His name is Adrian Anglin, but he was popularly known as Fuzzy. Fuzzy was born on August 20, 1985, 38 years old, and he was a taxi driver. Fuzzy, he lived in the Salt Spring area of Hanover. Now, I'm not saying that this is the reason why Fuzzy was killed, but what is a fact is that Fuzzy, he was a witness in this incident, or he was an eyewitness to this incident. Let me remind you about the incident that I'm talking about. On Saturday morning, July 31, 2021, over 2 years ago, a guy named Jordan, he was in the community of Salt Spring, chanting and shouting out loud, "Repent! Repent!" It is alleged that a guy, his name is Kemo Wilson, but he's popularly known as Maro. Maro is a bike taxi operator. It is said that Maro, he was there with a guy named Damion Smith, but he's popularly known as Purple. It is said that Maro, he told Jordan, "Stop the noise and move from my gate." It is said that a guy named Lloyd Campbell, popularly known as Dujon, he intervened and he told Maro to leave Jordan alone. This led to a heated argument between both Maro and Dujon. As a result, both of them grabbed up and started to fight. Members of the community, to include Adrian Anglin, also known as Fuzzy, they intervened and parted them. It is alleged that Maro, he told Dujon that it not done yet. Dirt for him. Maro, he was then driven away by Purple in a white Toyota Voxy. They later returned shortly after, about 9:15 or thereabout, and in the full view of everyone, to include Fuzzy. It is alleged that Maro and another guy known as Tommy, they returned in the Voxy being driven by Purple. They jumped out of the Voxy with guns in hands and pumped several bullets into Dujon's head and his upper body, killing him on the spot. The hoodlums, they then made good their escape. Like I had reported at the time when I carried that story. 25 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. Now, shortly after the incident, Maro, he handed in himself to the police, and Purple, he was held by the police. It took a while, but Tommy, he was eventually held by the police. They were charged for murder and they were placed before the courts. Purple, the driver, he was eventually granted bail, and Maro and Tommy, they are still in police custody awaiting trial. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure if this is the reason why Fuzzy was targeted, but the fact is he witnessed the incident. Now, Fuzzy, he was a taxi driver who plied the route Green Island to Salt Spring in Hanover. Yesterday afternoon, Friday, November 24, Fuzzy, he drove into the bus park, but other drivers were in front of him. So, Fuzzy, he went next door where he played Damion for a while. We are told that a white Toyota Fielder motor car drove into the taxi park. It parked in there for a while. In fact, at one stage, they drove out and come back. The hoodlums, they were waiting on Fuzzy. Remember, I told you that Fuzzy, he was playing Damion next door. We are told that Fuzzy, he ended this game because he was saying, I must my time for Lloyd now. Fuzzy, he walked into the park and he was in there for a while when the two hoodlums stepped out of the Toyota Fielder. One of them was armed with an M16 rifle and the other one, he was armed with a 9mm pistol. They opened gunfire at Fuzzy, hitting him to his head and his upper body. A 42-year-old man known as Tata, he was also hit. He received gunshot wounds to the left side of his buttocks, his abdomen, and his left shoulder. The hoodlums, they then jumped back into the car and made good their escape. Fuzzy, he ended up dying on the spot, and Tata, he was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was treated and admitted in a very, very serious condition. We are told that when the police processed this crime scene, 7 9mm spent shells and 5 5.56 spent shells were recovered from the scene. The mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend for tell a friend for tell a friend about Popeye Newslink and PNL Vlog TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver say, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them knock out can't tame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane. Everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, what a shame. But me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica, the land of the sun. Jamaica become now the land of the gun. East and north and south when me turn. Country and town, man a pay blood a run. Murder, don't you baby me hear them a murder. Cut it out, tell them no gonna further. Man a dead like cans and bird, yeah. Who no listen them a word, yeah. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a